very unfortunately, two very good friend of China and a good friend of almost every country were in a conflict, very severe conflict right now. This is very unfortunate. Chinese President Xi Jinping suggested to the President of Russia that we hope that this dispute can be solved through negotiations. And President of Russia feedback positively.
Excellency, the other thing is, we see right now there is a war going on in Ukraine, and which has really cast a big uncertainty on global economy and also politics. And some people are saying that if America gets involved in it, the Third World War is imminent. So what kind of role is China playing? China, it seems, is maintaining a very neutral position, but why do you think China can play a role in creating peace in the region?
Yes. Well, this is a very important issue that we should really consider it very seriously. Very unfortunately, two very good friend of China and a good friend of almost every country were in a conflict, very severe conflict right now. This is very unfortunate. And you see, the only thing correct right now at this moment probably is, number one, to de-escalate the tension between the two. And number two, to do our best to prevent major humanitarian crises in this tragedy. And maybe number three, to investigate what is really happening, why, what is the reason behind this. And I think that's the three things that everybody should do.
So what do you think is behind this war?
Well, it could be very complicated in terms of historical perspective and also some very complicated geopolitical reasons. But here, what I would like to emphasize is, China, we have our official positions. We offered a written material on your table, and you will find that there we have our very, very clear position of China about this. And also we have put up some 6-point initiative for how to avoid further humanitarian crisis and so on. But here I would like to put something on top of that. Suppose you have two neighbors or friends are fighting. What do? You give knife to one of them and say, here, come on, here you go, there's a knife.
But go get him. In any war, you have to take a side. Are you taking side of the Russians?
No, not really, because as I mentioned, both Ukraine and Russia are good friends of China. So what China did is that when the two good friends, two neighbors are fighting, we are not the one that hand over a knife to either of them. We are the one to ask them, come on, sit down, calm down, have a cup of tea. We offer a sitting room for you to discuss with each other. That is exactly what China did. Actually, the day after the conflict, the day after, Chinese president and the Russian president had a phone call. And Chinese President Xi Jinping suggested to the President of Russia that we hope that this dispute can be solved through negotiations. And President of Russia feedback positively. And after that, we have already witnessed 3 rounds of negotiations, and limited progresses, limited outcomes have been achieved. So that is the role that a responsible country should play, and that is exactly what China is playing in front of this tragedy. And I have noticed that Bangladesh took almost the same stand as China did in UNGA resolution, relevant resolutions in UNGA, and we abstained in those kind of resolutions in the UN arena. And I think that is a reasonable decision for both Bangladesh and China. As Dr. Momen, the Honorable Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, once mentioned clearly, Bangladesh wants peace, not war, throughout the world. I think that is exactly what China's position. And also, China is offering humanitarian aid to Ukrainian people through the Red Cross Association of China. And we are going to do more to prevent further humanitarian crises.
Interestingly, some Western leaders and media, they are drawing a parallel with Ukraine and Taiwan. They're saying that this war in Ukraine will encourage China to, wage a war on Taiwan as well. And in recent times, we have seen that Chinese fighter planes are flying and close to the Taiwan borders, and Western media have said that this is a provocation. And we also see a lot of tension in the Indo-Pacific region. So how do we interpret these things? Is China going to take over Taiwan?
Well, here I think first of all I have to make it crystal clear that Taiwan question and the Ukraine issue are 2 different questions by nature. And there is nothing comparable to these 2 issues. The reason I said so is that everybody knows that Taiwan issue is a result of a civil war of China. And therefore, the Taiwan issue, Taiwan question, is a domestic or internal issue of China. Both sides of Taiwan Strait recognize that there's only one China in the world. And the Taiwan side, if you look at the institution of Taiwan side, it said so. And so this one China principle has been universally recognized by almost all countries in this world, including Bangladesh, including USA, and almost every country in this world. And so if there's anything related Ukraine with Taiwan, I would say that that is someone from Taiwan. The authorities of Taiwan try to exploit the Ukrainian issue to make benefit out of it. That is the only link. Okay, so we have to be very, very clear that that's 2 different issues, and there's a distinctive between the 2 by nature. So that is basically what I would like to emphasize. And you just mentioned that will China make any move out of this the Ukrainian issue, take any, say, advantage of that? No, not at all. Taiwan question, we have our own way to solve it, which is, as we always said, we are trying to solve this peacefully if the condition allows. But we never said that we will give up the final alternative, which is to solve this by force. But we don't like to see that. That is the Chinese position on this issue.
And how do you interpret how China looks at the formation of Quads and AUKUAs and all these things, and joint military exercises in the Pacific region, all these things?
This is a question that I have to be very, very careful about my wording, because you see, about 1 year ago, some reporters reported some of my statement in a special occasion after I've been asked about the relevant question, and it created quite a stir at that time. So that is why I said I have to be very, very careful about my wording. I would say that the U.S. put up with this IPS, or Indo-Pacific strategy, and they claim that it is for a freedom and peace in the Pacific region. And sometimes they also mention that it is not for a small bloc against China. But if you look at those actions, not the wordings of the relevant parties, well, everybody knows that it is against China, Quad, AUKUS, and so on. They know that it's against China. They know, and they know we know. We know that. They knew, we knew that. So, obviously, well, not very happy to see that of actions to form small blocks or cliques to specifically designate it to some specific target, especially when China happened to be the target itself. You can imagine what is the China's attitude toward those things. And particularly here, I would like to mention one thing. The AUKUS brought huge risk of nuclear proliferation in this region, which is not good for anybody in the region, including the Bangladesh and any other countries in the region. So I hope that Bangladesh will take a wise decision towards all of those mechanisms. I have full confidence about the wisdom of Bangladesh leaders and government, because the first lesson I learned about the diplomacy of Bangladesh was the Bangbandhu's doctrine, which is friend to all and malice toward none. So I have full confidence that Bangladesh will make wise decisions.
So thank you so much for coming and joining to this dialogue. And I thank DCAP for co-hosting this thing. And maybe in future we'll meet again and discuss the things of importance once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Imam. Thank you for your very professional hosting of this event. And also to our friends, I hope that we've covered all topics that you're interested in. And through this dialogue, I hope that I can successfully convey a main message to you. That is, you can always count on China, even though in difficult times, you can always count on China. And China is serving as a ballast or the anchor of a big ship sailing on a turbulent water, China will offer certainty, stability, and accountability to this world and also to our partners like Bangladesh. That is the main message I would like to convey to you this morning. And then secondly, last but by no means least, there's an information that I want like to draw your attention to is that this year China is going to hold the 20th National Congress of CPC, or the Communist Party of China, which is an immensely important meeting going to be held in China. And through this meeting, you will get a full understanding about what are going to happen in China in the next decades. And I hope that as a professional journalist, I hope that you will keep your eyes open to this big event in China and keep a closer look of it and try to cover it in a more objective way. And finally, I hope that I can invite you to visit China after the raging of this pandemic and after the situation allows. I hope to see you all in China. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for invitation.
Thank you particularly.